Cut that shit off. What's the motherfucking deal? Welcome to the Den. If you're not familiar with the Den is a place where friends engage in conversation on various topics, so things happening around the world, life events, whatever fucking floats our boat. What the fuck is hair? Look, damn, I got scared. What the fuck was that? This shit was fucking get this shit out here. I'm your host, Honcho, man. Again, welcome to the Den. I hope everybody is having a good evening. Don't call into the Den yet, because I ain't gonna answer your fucking phone call until we get a little bit into it. So let me take that number off of there. But again, welcome to the Den. I appreciate everybody for following through this evening. Again, like I said, I hope y'all are all doing swell. I see the stream already trying to get a little janky on your boy. But tonight, man, we're going to talk about the rich or the poor, who deserves it more. And we're going to look at it from a few perspectives. And the reason why I kind of thought of this was actually something different I was thinking about. But, there has been proposed legislation from a certain party in a certain country who wants to start taxing the wealthy. And we're going to get into more detail about that. And we're going to talk about why I don't necessarily think it's the greatest of ideas. But like I said, we'll get into that. But first, let's see what friends of the Den are joining us this evening. And we'll talk about it, man. We're going to talk about it. Get that out of here. I see Dr. Rabbit. Good deal. Balin, hello and goodbye. Beyond a funny nigga, what's the motherfucking deal? Jay Dizzle, what's the motherfucking deal? Baker Man, what's the motherfucking deal? Dominic, Wise, Berkeley Boss, what's the motherfucking deal? Oh, you want to smoke? I ain't even see it, but I mean, if we got beef, it is what it is. But again, so I kind of want to talk about why that's weak. I was just about to fucking put the shit in. It's all good. Still throw my challenge out there. But again, why I say this, and so I want to say, was it Warren? Was it Warren? I think it might have been Elizabeth Warren. Was that Pocahontas? And then that I don't even know her name. Whatever they call her, AOC, the Cortez chick or whatever. But Trayvon, what's the motherfucking deal? Jeremiah, what's the motherfucking deal? But basically was talking about, once you make over, I think they're saying if you make over $10 million a year, that they want to start taxing it at 70%. I don't agree with this. Do I make $1 million a year? No, I'm not. I'm not even anywhere close to that bracket right now. Eventually, yes. If I stick to the game plan, it will happen. It will come to fruition. But do you understand how much ambition that kills? Like you're basically capping off, what you, so it gets to a point where if you make over $10 million, and I wonder how that would apply to, say, somebody who won the lottery or something like that. That's very interesting. You win a big ass fucking lottery and then they take fucking, you win your 300 million and they fucking take a fucking 70% of your shit. Excuse me. And again, like I say, I think it's really ridiculous. So you're telling me after I make $10 million, I have to work almost 3.5 times harder to make my next $1 million just to give it all away to someone else. Again, am I uber wealthy? No, but I think that kills the thing that makes America what it is. I think that is a no-go. Because again, so think about it. You have athletes who make that kind of money, and they take care of a lot of people. They do a lot of stuff, and I'm not saying that they shouldn't be allowed to have that kind of money, but they have a short career, and so they only have that for so much. So if I ball my ass off, I ball out of control, and then I make $10 million in, or say I make $15 million a year. I get a contract, start off making $2 or $3 million. I'm playing football, risking my life. I'm damn near gonna get my neck broke. Then I got to pay $70 million on top of that. Plus, I got to pay taxes in every state that I play in, because I don't know if most people realize that if you play football, even though they say, oh well, state tax in Houston or state tax in Texas doesn't exist. But if I go play all over the country, I have to pay taxes in every state that I play the game in. You know, it was a time that I was, doing a little traveling to do a little contracting work. You got to pay taxes in the states that you worked in. Like, that's how it works. So, again, this delusional idea of someone, once they just make too much money, there's no such thing as too much money. Because you look at, people always say, well, it's those people who were born rich. So let's talk about Bill Gates. Let's talk about Zuckerberg. Let's talk about Bezos, even though he's going to be splitting half of that up. These people weren't born filthy fucking rich. They created an idea. They used that ambition to grow that idea and turn it into something. But now you kill the likelihood of having the next Bezos, the next Gates, the next Zuckerberg, or any of these people. The chick who made Spanx, how many women would be upset if they couldn't get their Spanx because they was getting taxed out their ass, and so they couldn't grow. I think that it's irrational, and this whole steal from the rich, give to the poor thing it doesn't make sense. Refresh that shit, Dr. Rabbit. Let me say this is what's the motherfucking deal, McVice? You say tax are not for them, only for us. But I think, though, honestly, what I would agree with is that there should be a flat tax, point blank, period. Now, what percentage? That's up for discussion. But I think everybody should pay the same amount on the basis of the same percentage, no matter what. And the reason why I say this, but it's not that he stole it. Even if he did steal it, everything's stolen. But he marketed it much better than the next man. And that's why it became what it is. That's why all the fucking computer. Marketing is a skill. A lot of people may not agree with that. There's a lot of ideas out there that are very similar. But one person can market that same idea a little bit better. And they're gonna win with it. So a lot of things that are similar. Like, think about it. The iPad and all that shit, iPhone, none of that shit is new. They weren't doing anything groundbreaking. They marketed it. They were able to market it in a better way. Because iPad, shit like that, no tablets and shit would have been around. You know what I'm saying? And so if you can market, that's where the money is. That's why you have marketing departments. They don't fucking make the products. They don't do anything, but they know how to get it out in front of the eyeballs and make people want to buy it. That's ultimately what it is. Everything is marketing. You market yourself on a daily basis. Anytime you go out in public. Looks like a turtle, but steals like a ninja. But again, like I say, so marketing is important. But again, however you make your money, I ain't knocking nobody for however they get their money. You gotta eat how you gotta eat. But ultimately, though, what I'm saying is that you kill the ambitions of anybody who wants to be rich. So basically, you're telling people don't want to be rich. Don't fucking want to, live on the next level. Don't have aspirations of being great. Have aspirations of being really good, but don't have aspirations of being great. Because you start making too much money out here, we got to take it. To me, that's as bad as participation trophies. You know what I'm saying? Hey, look, I don't care who, like I say, it's his name on it. He the one eating off this shit. I don't know his team, son. Say words, son. I know that nigga Zuck, son. That nigga looks like a motherfucking Android B. You know what I'm talking about, son? But and that's the thing, though. But again, it's gonna go through because you have all these channels that it must go through. And again, even if it did go to the poor, even if the money did go to the poor, and I'm not saying it should be a situation where we made a bunch of money here, let's just hand out checks to everybody. No, because again, that also kills ambition. That's why you have the problem that you have with the welfare system, and that's not that much money. That's a couple of $100. Motherfuckers get a couple of $100, maybe. I don't know how much motherfuckers get on welfare, or, checks or whatever, all that shit. But it's not enough to change your life. It's enough to just barely get by. But you have people who are content to live on, whatever you want to call it, welfare, you want to call it, whatever the shit is, who are content to live on just enough and not do any more because they know, well, hey, I'll be content with this lifestyle. I'll have this, I'll have that. I won't ever get to this level, but I'm gonna be mad and talk about the people who do. But I don't have to work any harder, and I can stay in a living arrangement. It might not be the best, but I'll have a roof over my head. And so my thing is, I'm not a person about killing ambition, and this kind of ultimately where it goes, in my opinion. Because if you start just handing people checks, they don't want to work. What the fuck am I work for? That's why, you know, like the whole communism, socialism argument type thing. Well, if we all just divide it up, you know, it should be equal for everybody. Fuck no. Because then some motherfuckers don't realize I ain't got to do shit. I'm going to get paid the same as the motherfucker who's busting his ass. Well, why am I going to do that? You know what I'm saying? Who's going to do that? And again, I think that you give people what you call a living wage. Okay. You give people more money. And I mean, it's tried and true. It doesn't even matter if it's a doctor's lawyer, people who go and actually make more money. They'll just be in more debt. What you have to do is teach people financial literacy and financial education, because you can give a motherfucker more money. They just going to blow it on more bullshit. That's just what the fuck is going to happen. Again, doctors out here living check to check. Fucking lawyers out here living client to client, if you will. A lot of these motherfuckers, they get more money. They spend it on more lavish shit. You know, what we may consider what we need it for the necessities. Well, to them, in their lifestyle, it's the necessities. You know, so instead of saying, okay, I make more money, let me put more money away. I make more money, let me buy more lavish shit. And again, so what you have is people who are smart with their money. Even if they don't make a whole lot, they live well because they don't live outside their means. People who are wealthy and they get much more wealthy is because they plan and they don't live outside their means. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is. You know, everything else is nonsense. Because like I said, you can give a motherfucker, like I say, there's a reason why most people who win the lottery are broke within the next 3 to 5 years, because they have no financial literacy and they blow it all away. That's more than a living wage, but they just don't know. Your robot's gonna eat real good. Well, they not gonna eat it all, but people who own the robots will. But you know what I'm saying? And so again, that's why I say you got to develop skills right now. Like, you know who's gonna win? Fucking hairdressers, barbers. And that's the thing. If you are a top-notch barber, you will thrive over a bullshit barber, because there's a lot of motherfuckers with barber skills. I'm not even saying just top-notch hairstyle, but I mean, if you're efficient, because there's going to be a lot of skill sets that are going to get depleted with the advancement of AI, artificial intelligence, with robots. I mean, you can go shit to the Mickey D's in the hood now. You know what I'm saying? They don't need nobody to take no fucking order. Last time I fucking little spot I go get my hair done, like I left, I was like, fuck it, because I was in there for a while. I was like, fuck, I'm fucking starving. I don't want to go to McDonald's, but I've been in this bitch for a long ass time. It's the closest thing before I hit on the freeway and have to ride all the way back home. You know, it's a fucking hour trip. So I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna run this Mickey D's. And it was like a line of motherfuckers in that bitch. I'm like, man, fuck this line. I seen the little board over there. I boop, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop, boop. Put my card in. Bam, gave me my receipt. And fucking, they called my shit up before the next motherfucker who was in line was even getting his order taken. So it's just like shit, you know. Motherfuckers out there tripping. Like, y'all got to realize, man, that it ain't gonna be so tonight's a rough one. Rockets took a L. That was rough. You know what I'm saying? But the thing about it, say robots running shit already. How many fully automated fast food? Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying. Like, you got to have a skill set. If you don't have a skill that people are not going to trust to robotics, and, you know, even in the medical profession, there's robotics doing certain things, but people will not be comfortable with letting a robot or something of that nature. But you see doctors who do surgeries and they're using little machines to be more precise and shit like that. So, I mean, that's just going to be part of the future. But I mean, certain things, healthcare, certain services, you just need that personal touch for people to feel okay with it. So I think that, you know, there will be certain avenues that don't get overtaken. But a lot of these menial jobs, there's menial labor, man, you might as well count it a wrap, man. Nobody owes anybody anything in this country. So you got to get it. You got to figure it out, and you got to figure out a way to eat and eat good now, or else, you know, it's going to be, oh man. Hey, look, Eric Gordon, we going to talk about that in a minute, but, you know what I'm saying? And I agree. And that's what I said. I felt like, I think that's something that they need to have in America is, I mean, before you get out of school, and I think when we talked about education, Mello had called in and a couple other folks had called in. I was looking over the calls the other day. And just saying, like, yeah, you should have a trade before you get out of high school. I don't know why people have kind of gotten away from that, because I remember shit, you know, you could do computer maintenance, and they had like, I think they had like a little shop class, like a little auto maintenance class, some other little things that you could work on when I was back in high school. you can start towards a trade, at least learning the basics of some shit. But nowadays, they don't even have that shit. They barely have extracurricular activities. You got football, and that's it. You ain't playing football. You might get to go play basketball at the park. School might sponsor your team or something if y'all good enough. Who knows? But they getting rid of everything. No music, no motherfucking arts for the kids to help them think differently. Like I said, they just, they get your ass in here, do this work, and get your ass up out of here. We getting more funding than ever, but it's not going to y'all. Oh, man. So your car got a fraud charge, so it got declined when you try to get donuts. Couldn't pay for donuts. God damn. Money units got you. The Rockets lost in the worst way. Yeah. Life is tough. Life is tough. Persuade. You were graduated certified, and that's what I'm saying, man. Again, like I say, but why are we not taking advantage of these things? Even if it's not something that you want to be, we need to encourage that. Man, I want to shout out to Project. I didn't finish the documentary. I want to talk about it. Have you guys seen that thing? It's about Houston, called Tears on the Bayou. It's a documentary about Houston, all the murders and shit that's been happening out here, and they kind of just go in depth and they just talk to a bunch of motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Who basically caught up in that life, and it's sad, really. It's fucked up, and it's kind of sad that motherfuckers get so ingrained, and I understand it. This is a far off conversation, and I'm gonna open up the line here in a minute. But I'm trying to get an electrician to say that's what they didn't even speak English. God damn. But they were talking to a bunch of people, motherfuckers who got shot, and people, their family members who had got killed. And they were just talking about the toll and effect that it has, and they were talking about the two sides of Houston, and and they were just saying all that shit. And it was just like, man, it's crazy that people get ingrained into that mentality, man. And it's like everybody that they had in there, not that much longer. Either they got killed, they got shot again, or they were back in jail, And my thing is, when people get caught up in a situation like that, is that like do you really want to change? I mean, motherfuckers get shot and just accept it. I got motherfuckers talking about he died on the thing twice, and he talking about, he didn't got shot. They talking about all the, shit that they didn't got into. Eventually, like, when do you want better for yourself and have to say, man, why ain't I'm trying to get my kids out of this cycle? If I know all this shit is happening, I'm accepting it for myself, but I'm going to continue to breed another generation and put them in this cycle. Like, that's what I don't understand. If you know shit is so bad, why continue to have fucking kids and put them in that motherfucking shit? That's like my thing. Even when, it was a point in time I was eating pretty well, I was still pretty selfish. I was just like, it's not the time for it right now. And then, all the shenanigans and shit happened. But, until I feel like I would want to be in a much more comfortable position, I'm all right now, but I still want better. I'm not rich, but I'm okay. I'm not where I was, and I still got a lot of work to do. Like, actually, I'm not even close to where I want to be. Let's just be realistic. Like, I'm honestly not that far from where I was, because, anything can change in the drop of a hat. And I'm not that far away from where I want to be at the same time, because a lot of this shit is mentality. And sometimes it takes you building up the work for everything that, the fruition to come to it. You know what I'm saying? I know a nigga that died 3 times. God, I want that nigga. That's crazy. Yeah, it was one of the dudes on that video, and he was talking about he died twice. And he was like, man, fuck all that seeing yourself at the end of the tunnel. I ain't seen none of that shit. I died for 6 minutes. I was flatlined and, all that shit. I mean, it's like I say, that shit don't make you want to change your perspective, or do how deep off in it do you have to be to just feel like there's no win for me. Like I said, I've done my fair share of shenanigans. I ain't put nobody under, no nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? I've done my fair share of shenanigans and whatever. It is what it is. I done some shit I don't want to say I regret, but it is what it is. Probably should have been a lot more shit that I got, in trouble for. That's why I don't be tripping. I got, like you say, you reap what you sow. But at the same time, I would like to think I was a pretty good person. I ain't really just ever do nobody bad that ain't have it coming to them. That ain't, like I say, try to fuck me over or do something off the wall. And it's even people, I know there were situations I probably should have done something different, but it is what it is. You say it was some of it when they started watching cartoons. But like I say, and so that's why I say I don't complain about my situation. Like, I know that I put myself in it. I got to get myself out of it. And so I think that, what's the motherfucking deal, Vici? No. It might be some, maybe that is why it's cool out here. You know what I'm saying? I thought I was just so cool, you know, that the weather was just adjusting to my temperature, player, you know. But, you know, what's up, D-Love? Bailey, what's the motherfucking deal? But, man, but like I say, that shit just, it's sad, but I guess, you know, because like I say, I just kind of been out the loop for a few years now, and it just reminded me of the mentality of a lot of niggas, man. And it's sad and it's unfortunate, but again, that comes from being ingrained in the music. Again, you know, accepting the lifestyle around you. Sometimes you got to get out and go do something different. Like if you flossing and you doing all this shit, you getting money, you getting these chains, man, you get it. It don't take a whole lot to change your environment. It takes a lot to change your mind. Don't take a whole lot to change your environment. But if you keep continuing with the same mind frame, no matter where you go, you'll be caught up in the same shit. You know, so it is what it is. Do I believe in hell? Nah, I don't believe in hell. I don't believe in heaven or hell. That's just my personal beliefs. Not saying, excuse me, I don't think there's a higher power, but you know, I look at it like this. If God created this planet, right, and let's say if we're going with the Christian perspective or whatever, and I'm not a Christian, but I used to be. But if I feel like if God created this planet, right, say it is what it is, and then we'll talk about, you know, the rest of the other beliefs. If God created this planet and basically it was perfect at one point in time, you know, the bitch got to tripping, talking to the snake, realized she was naked, had her husband eat the fucking apple because he was simping. And now, you know, we living in sin, okay? If the angels and things like they say were so infatuated with what was going on down here, that's what I tell you. We had a conversation. This was a while back. There might have been a Christian. I was telling y'all, man, heaven might not be the place you want to go, but it's going down on earth. You better enjoy it. But all jokes aside, you know, like the angels were coming down here, you know, fornicating with people. That's where you had the thing about Nephilim and all that shit. You know, I think that, you know, they're talking about heaven on earth and things of that nature. I think that eventually something's going to happen if you're going with this belief. This would be my take on that belief. That something would happen and the earth would have to be restored. I see man belongs on earth. I think if you die, I don't know where your spirit goes. I don't know all that other shit. I just think man belongs on earth, because if that was the case, why not just put everybody in heaven already if it was all about always going to heaven in the first place? Now, if you're thinking from the science aspect, if I look at it from a science perspective, you know, the evolution and all that other shit, I think when you clock out, you know, I think your body dies. You know, I believe the energy goes somewhere. They say, you know, energy is always transferred. I don't know where. I don't know about all the rest of it, but I just think there has to be something to the feelings and sensations and vibrations and things that we get as people when you connect with other people, when you just the interaction with people. So like, I don't know what it is. Like I say, I just look at it from different aspects. I don't know if any of these are my true beliefs personally, but you know, if you're looking at it from a science, but I don't know if we just, you know, we clock out. I think the body might be done. I don't know about the spirit and all the rest of that, or that energy. Where does it get transferred? I have questions about that. Let's see. All right, Rabbit. Let's see. Say we were created perfect, then we were never evolved. We were devolving. Well, that's an interesting way to look at it. And that's what I say, you know, I think you have your religious look at it, you have your scientific look at it. And like I said, I don't fucking know. So, I mean, I just kind of look at both perspectives. And there's other angles, you know, people have all kind of beliefs. But I think if we're talking from the sciencey way, then, you know, I don't know, maybe we was fucking around. I don't know if we came up from monkeys or what. You know, it just seems like a lot of time for a lot of shit to happen. And again, like I said, if you're looking at it from a religious perspective, my thing with that is just that, the earth being that young and, the argument with some of those things. But I just don't think, I think the earth is made for man, period. I don't know. I don't know where. I don't know why. I just believe that's what it is. I think that's man's place is on earth. That's what it was made for. You ain't got no trees up in heaven, player. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even talking about them. I'm talking about like pine trees and shit. You know what I'm saying? Nah, but I don't know. Like I said, it's just it's a whole lot of interesting shit. Say the body is the vehicle, an engine and the passenger. The human being is the passenger vehicle. The vehicle breaks down, the passenger must continue on by different means. Interesting. What? So you telling me you don't believe in white Jesus? Is that what you're saying? Are you serious? So you're telling me that guy over there where he was kicking it, Israel or wherever it was, didn't look like Matthew McConaughey? Is that what you're trying to tell me? I don't believe it. I don't freaking believe it. Again, y'all know what it is. So here's the deal, man. Let's go ahead and let me get this properly booted up, and we'll open up the Denline. We can talk about whatever's on your mind. Rich or poor. We can talk about the crazy taxation situation. Because again, like I think 70% is ridiculous. Like I think just be a flat tax. Like we'll talk. I'll talk a little bit more about that. What I have to say. Let me get the Denline open first. Is this one I'm using? No, hold on. Is it this one? Yeah. Bow. Look at that shit, fancy. Hold on. Like to check this shit out. This shit dope. Get up out of here. Who you taking up space? Go away. Goddamn. So if y'all want to contact the Den many ways, 1-833-284-3336, Den Show Live at Gmail. Or if you want to tell your friends about the Den, just tell them to go to thedenshow.com so they can check it out, man, so they can be a part of the conversation. We got to get this thing growing, man. The Den is a live little spot. And if you really want to see what your friends are about, that's a good way to find out. You just tell them, hey, man, come to the Den. Don't tell them what your screen name is or nothing like that, man. Yeah, we be in there, be cool, man, blah, blah, blah. And then let them come in, let them get to talking and all that shit. And you're going to be like, this motherfucker said, that's why, look, I'll get the information out for y'all. All y'all got to do is let me know what y'all trying to find out. I'll talk about that shit. You'll find out if them niggas stole your motherfucking PlayStation game when y'all was 12. I didn't get that shit back for you. I got you. All right, Jeremiah, man, appreciate you following through, huh? Already. They say to me, I roll the dice, say Jesus black, let's be real, it doesn't matter. I'm just sure he didn't look as fair skinned as a lot of people think. But man, did y'all see that Killer Mike Joe Rogan? Did y'all see the Killer Mike Joe Rogan? Killer Mike, got a lot of respect for that. The Killer Mike is real interesting. Killer Mike is real interesting in his beliefs. And if y'all hadn't seen that, y'all need to check that out. Not right now, not till the dinner's over with. But I think that was one of Joe Rogan's better episodes. Killer Mike got on there and got lit the motherfucking out. He got lit the fuck up. But Killer Mike's perspective, because what Killer Mike talks about a lot is the solution I really think that we need, especially in the black community, in impoverished communities, period. Because I think the problem that the black community has is one that would say we automatically associate with the impoverished, and we associate with that behavior. Motherfuckers take a brand over the land. Like, I think that's like the realest shit Kanye ever said. Y'all can say what y'all want to say about that whole Trump situation. That one line right there changed the way I looked at a bunch of shit. And say if a motherfucker don't have the land, they'll settle for a brand. And that's why motherfuckers killing over J's and all that dumb shit, outfits and all that other stupid shit. So my thing is this, Oh, hold on, I got another one. Let me see if I put that other one up there. Since I'm trying to be fancy. I'm trying to slowly but surely upgrade the Den. I told you I've been putting in a little work. Got the new little intro. Trying to get the other little shit going. Bow. There we go. So if y'all want to catch the Den, make sure you catch all the Den socials. Facebook.com/Den Show Live at Twitter and Instagram. Hope I spell that right. Yeah, spell that right. At Den Show Live. So make sure y'all following on all the proper media, so that way y'all know if we go live or whatever. I usually make sure to put the information up a little early, so y'all know if we'll be live or if I'm gonna cancel it then that night. That way y'all don't know. But like I said, Killer Mike, he talks a lot about business. And the thing that he said, and this is what I tell motherfuckers, like, motherfuckers in the rap game ain't know what them New York niggas ain't know what the fuck they was doing. You think about where every motherfucker tells you, even P, you see it. They all talk about how they came to Houston and saw how niggas in Houston was getting it in. Niggas from Atlanta, I've heard them say it. I remember it was probably the last BET Award show I watched, which was some years ago. I don't even know if it was BET Award. It might have been some Source Hip Hop Award. I don't even know. It was some bullshit. But they was like, they did like, I think it's like showing Houston some love or whatever. He was talking about Jay Prince and all that other shit. And basically, but even Killer Mike said, he's like, man, I'd been rapping. I was all in Atlanta rapping. I was with Dungeon Family. I was with all these people, and I wasn't getting no money. And he's like, I had to come to Houston. And he listed, when I say this motherfucker listed off everybody who was anybody. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say you got to watch it. That motherfucker got a lot of love for Houston. That nigga listed off everybody from, all the niggas on the north side, all the Swish House niggas. He listed off Kiki, Zero. He was talking about Thuggy. He was talking about, I think he talked about K Reno. He talked about like everybody. I mean, everybody. He was just naming off. I was like, damn, Killer Mike. Okay. Of course, Bun and Pimp and, all that. Like, that motherfucker got a lot of love for Houston. And he was just basically saying, like, niggas in Houston did it differently, because especially had to, because the radio wasn't showing no motherfucking love. Like, it was a point in time, 97.9. When 97.9 fell off is when they got rid of Straight from the Streets. And after that, they've been trash ever since. But he was just talking about how niggas in Houston knew how to hustle and how to eat off their music, because it was just a different application to the shit. You know what I'm saying? And Lyric Northside was the motherfucking deal. And he said after that, you know what I'm saying, that's when he started actually making money. But then he started transferring his money. He got a bunch of barbershops, and he was talking about how he changed the game with the barbershops. So he switched it up to a percentage model as opposed to a booth rent, because you only making a little bit of extra change with that booth rent model. And he was just talking about a whole bunch of different things in business. And so, like I said, Killer Mike was on some legit shit. And I'm what he was talking about, I think, is something that, there's a conversation we need to have, because he's a Democrat, but he's for, Second Amendment rights. He ain't with all the tomfoolery though. And I think that's what you really should have. Is Street Favorite still in rotation? What's the motherfucking deal, Vincent? King of the U's. Lyric, I should say, what's happening? What's the damn deal, Lyric? What's going on? But, so my thing is, like I say, he got a Netflix show. I need to check out his shit, and I need to check out that Hot Boxing with Mike Tyson. I want to check that podcast out. But and just the shit he was talking about. He was just talking about, like, he had the ideas, but he said he was talking about his old lady helped him out in business and shit, and just a bunch of stuff. He just basically how he got on real interesting perspectives, and he got to talking about. I say all this to say that he got to talking to Joe Rogan about white Jesus and things like that. And he was like, he had a homeboy who basically did a prank, created like some fake savior and had people sign up. But he's basically saying that, why is it that people of a particular race always look to some other race to be the one that has the savior? Like, you see a bunch of white people looking up to some Indian dude or something, and black people look up to the white Jesus, and just vice versa, all kind of shit. So he was talking about all this stuff, and I found it interesting. But he was just saying that he had a homeboy create like basically a fake religion and prank a bunch of people into signing up for that shit and believing in that shit, and they was like with that shit. So like I say, man, it's crazy, man. It's real crazy that people, if you give them enough, they'll buy into some bullshit. So I mean, it is what it is. So, again, what y'all did talk about? My street flavor, King of Wider. Google's been around since '98. Let's see if I have a project that's still coming true today. Let's see. Let's look up the Black Jesus. Good time, 1974. So, like I say, a whole lot of let's say, let's do the intro with the voice. We might have to set something up like, well, welcome to the goddamn den. But again, man, like I say, it's just it's a lot of interesting stuff. But going back to but talking about wealth and poverty and things like that, I don't think that it'll ever work. Do I think that capitalism is perfect? Absolutely not. I don't think there'll ever be a perfect man-made system. But capitalism allows you to see the best that men can bring. I don't think that there will ever be a true system of fairness, because if one motherfucker is working much more diligently while another person Cadillacs, even if you're getting paid the same, it's not fair. The output that you're putting, I mean, it's not fair. Even though the payments may be fair, the lifestyles may be similar, it doesn't equate. Because I mean, let's just be honest. If you're not working for something, if you're not putting out, I'm a person that I firmly believe in exerting your energy, giving all your energy away, everything you got. And that's how I think you find success. When you truly put your passion and energy behind something and you really give it all you got. And you kind of got to have a plan. You can't just be out there willy-nilly throwing your energy into fucking a bunch of hoes, I guess, unless you're a porn star or something like that. But you can't be out there willy-nilly. You got to have a plan, and you got to be willing to give your plan everything you got. And I think that if you stick to that kind of script, again, I'm sure there's more details to it, but you stick to that basic script, then you will find success in some fashion, depending on what your definition of success is. And I think that's important too, for you to define what you think success is. But the idea of capping a motherfucker at $10 million a year and then telling me I got to work 3 times as hard to make my next million, and really not even make that next million, while the government takes my money. And we all know the government does God knows what with the motherfucking money. They were talking about a dude who had bought I think $100 million yacht or some shit like that, or maybe 10 million. I forgot what it was. I don't give a shit. Like, I think that's motivation. The fact that I have the opportunity, if I do my damnedest and really try. Now, the likelihood of it happening is only capped off by my mentality. Do I believe that I could do it? If I grind the right way, put the right work in, then absolutely, but my thing is to have the hope that a motherfucker could buy $100 million yacht if I put my all into it should be motivation for somebody who wants to. I don't want to be on the water like that. I'll be cool with like a couple of jet skis. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be out there looking like Jay-Z, but a small yacht would be cool. But Broderick, what's the motherfucking deal? So again, like I say, let me see what y'all in here talking about. Still prophetic events that constantly plays out. So a question that it was rewritten. Yeah, y'all talking about the Bible and stuff. Okay. So again, yeah, I think there's a lot of shenanigans with the preachers out there too. But again, like I say, the fact that a motherfucker would have to, like, and I want to say, I don't know if it was Warren that was talking about that though, but basically trying to post, see, this is the reason why it wouldn't hurt him to not have this, to, so that everybody, no, it would absolutely. Like, do I have a fucking $100 million yacht? No. But again, if I had the opportunity to get one, I had the money to get one, and it wasn't hurting me, it wasn't ruining my lifestyle, would I get one? Maybe. Sauce yacht, the Den yacht. It'd be the greatest thing you ever seen in your motherfucking life. But my thing is, you say, G. Craig. I remember that's the one who did like the hip hop preaching, right? And that's the one he was talking about some stuff a while back. Cause I remember seeing his I remember a homeboy of mine, he had brought some of his videos. I want to say DVDs. Let y'all know how old this motherfucker don't even be watching DVDs no more. So this was a while. This was some years back. This was damn near a decade ago that I seen some of this shit. But very interesting in what he's talking about. But he does make the right connections, and I think from what I've seen with him, he does actually back certain things up, and he makes legitimate comparisons, as opposed to some of these people who just say random stuff. Take partial pieces of scriptures and things, and just to try to sell you an idea. But my thing is, let's get back to talking about this $100 million yacht I'm finna get, right? See, I need to be like Creflo Dollar. Look, God says Honcho needs a $100 million yacht. We gotta make this happen. Let's make it happen. We got to make it happen. No. I wouldn't know what the fuck to do with $100 million. I'd take that bitch to the pawn shop, get $30 for that bitch. You know, again, you know, my thing is though, again, I'm not about anybody saying that you can't make so much money that once you get past that certain mark that you got to start paying a exorbitant tax fee on it because you have ambition, you have hustle. 335, what's the motherfucking deal? But again, like you said, you know, God said that all the Christians donate for, and that's what be killing me. Like some of that stuff, I mean, some of the things that go on, I think some people, honestly, like I said, I don't go to church. I'm not big on religion. I believe the Bible does teach you some other things, even if it's not on the religious aspect. I think if you follow, I know people use it as the basic instruction before leaving earth. The Bible does teach you though how you can live a quality life. Because just think about it. You know, even a lot of this shit that we call sins or that is called sins and things like that. If you refrain from a lot of this shit, your life will be decent. You know, a lot of things that we glorify and do whatever else. But if you basically follow, even if you look at it as a, what is it called, an allegory, and you just kind of follow some of those stories and you apply that to your life, you'll overall live a relatively quality life, you know. And so I think that just as, like I say, as a blueprint, it works. But then again, like I say, if you dive deeper into it and, you know, you have certain beliefs, like I say, I'm not here to validate or knock anything. Because I think it just depends on, you know, whomever you are. I just think that the man has taken some of it and kind of misconstrued. And I think that's what is hurting a lot of people. And I think that you do have a lot of those false prophets, false preachers and things like that. You know, out there slaying them personal pet packages. You know what I mean? So, you know, and so, you know, I think that that's an issue that you have to deal with. Because, you know, shit, you see this nigga rolling around town in the Bentley on 24s with a bunch of goons with him and shit. You know, motherfuckers would tell you that they used to act for him and be fucking packaging up them fucking personal care packages that he ain't never touched. You know, so it is what it is. Again, you know, it is what it is. I think people like that, when you go with living your life to deliberately deceive people and that's your foundation, you know, I would like to say you deserve a special punishment. But the fact that I say, you know, I don't really believe in the heaven or hell. I just think you die. I really just believe that's it. You know, is there a day of judgment or reckoning or all that? I don't know. But I think at this point, if you clock out before some major event happens, I think people just clock out. That's just kind of how I see it. And so I think death is it. And then some people, you know, they say, oh, your motherfucker's dead. Death ain't. I mean, death ain't a punishment. It's just what happens, man. You know, some motherfucker does a bunch of dirt and ends up dying eventually for, you know, all the shit they did. Well, they was gonna die anyway. So how is that really truly a punishment? You know what I mean? And that's kind of what it is. So you got to come into it now. We want to be disturbed to the dead. Absolutely. That's what you definitely want to do, because the conversation will always be good. So I think you got that. Save so many black gays. Yeah, there definitely is. But again, like I said, I really think that, you know, again, like I say, I wouldn't even know. I believe there's a higher power. I just don't know how to identify it. Like I say, I deliberate over these things on occasion, but I probably don't spend as much time thinking about it as I should. But like I say, my thing is, I really believe that it's the church now. Like I said, you have so many scammers, so many people who are trying to milk it. You see the pastors and the preachers, they fucking with the congregation. They're not holding a higher standard. Yes, they're only men. But at the same time, I feel like when you assume a certain position, you got to hold yourself to a certain standard, and then you have to, you know, especially if you're going to be a leader of men. I think you have to hold yourself to a higher accord. Say, would you drive 100 miles per hour with no seatbelt in a convertible in a rainstorm? It depends where. Not in these Houston streets. Hell no. You know, so it is what it is. Now that sound like a bad deal. Now you put me out in the motherfucking desert somewhere in the fucking, I don't know, in a long stretch of desert somewhere in Nevada or something. Maybe maybe that's the lick. Who knows? Spin out, land into some stands, step out the car, be bit by a fucking rattlesnake. So, you know. But, again, man, you know, I think that what you have to deal with, and, you know, I put the dilly-dally back up there for those of you who need it. Because just because the number ain't up don't mean that you can call in. I just got it to the side instead of sticking up there the whole time. 1-833-284-3336. If you got opinions, you want to spill something in the den, I don't spill something. If you just got thoughts about somebody, go say all that. But again, like I said, I think that talking about the ambition and the motivation, you know, of talking about being poor, about taxing and all that shit like that. I think that's this piss poor mentality. I think a lot of these left-wing people are trying to push this ideal because young people don't want to grind. They don't want to work the same. Say the fruit of the tree feeds man is falling to keep man warm in return. Man is planting the earth as the tree is upon death, and he feeds the soil of the tree. That's his natural necessary. I agree, man. I mean, these top margins, I don't know. Like I said, I really have to do a little bit more research, and so before I say I agree to that. But I think this is a different day and age. I think situations like that, again, I don't trust the government in this time to fucking use that money to really benefit us. Like I said, I'd have to actually do some more research on that and study before I give you a solid confirmation, but I just don't think that's it. I think, like I say, that type of mentality, I think that type of situation will kill ambition. More millionaires are made now than ever before in history. And so I think that you start doing it, I think it'll have a different outcome. You know, back then, yeah, you had a few people who were just loaded. Okay. Now, again, like I say, I forgot what the fucking number was, but you're getting a couple of hundred new millionaires every year. And so when you start trying to say, okay, let's spread the wealth, let's say, okay, after you made $10 million, you know, you got to start giving a whole bunch back. What is $10 million really these days? You know what I mean? Honestly, because people make that kind of money, they have families they take care of and things like that. And you say, well, why should their family live any better? Well, if they work for it, then they deserve it. If they want to spend it, you know, on their family to put them in a better class, then I think they deserve it. But as far as the way I feel about things is, this is the land of opportunity. Nobody owes you shit. You know, you have all opportunity in the world. And so, let me see. Look, I got to jot some of these down. I keep saying I'm going to read some of these. I had it on a different piece of paper, and I didn't check out any of those scriptures I meant to. I don't know what I did with it. But again, like I said, you know, I just don't buy into it. You know, I mean, I really don't, because I don't see the government taking these funds and using them in a way that's really going to benefit the people. And then I don't see, hey, let's take let's take this tax money, let's give this amount of money to the poor. How is it really going to benefit the poor? And I was talking about earlier that it needs to be financial education to go with that before anything, to learn how to live within your means and then build on top of that. Because if you give the poor money, what happens? They start saying, all right, I would go say, okay, so I don't have to work any harder and I'm going to get added benefits. that kills ambition. And we talked about that, like I said earlier in the stream when I was saying, you know, welfare. You got a lot of people who are content living on welfare, who do not want to work harder. They continue to pump out kids just so they can fucking continue to be, you know, just good enough. All right, hold on one second. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling into the den this evening? Don't tell me the den tripping with me. Hold on one second. I'm gonna have to. I gotta set it up the old-fashioned way. God damn it! I was hoping I didn't have to do all this shit. Give me 1 second here. I was hoping I didn't have to do it. I was trying to be lazy. I ain't gonna lie. I was trying to use a lack of ambition. It's so much easier to do it this way. Hold on 1 second. All right. I'm gonna do it like this. All right, so whoever that was, if you want to call back, we'll get you right. We'll get it right. We'll just do it the old-fashioned way, since the shit wants to be shady with me. But again, like I said, you know, my thing is it kills ambition. You don't have. All right. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling into the den this evening? Hello.
Hello?
Yes. Who we have calling into the den this evening?
Hey, it's your boy Josh again, man.
Already, Josh. What you want to drop in the den tonight, man?
All right, man. About the rich or the poor, man, I believe it's almost like the title is almost misleading because, I mean, it's almost like the title's like who deserves more.
Yeah.
And it's like, it almost goes back to the point you just read, like in life, you don't really like deserve anything. You got people that, you know, born and, you know, make it happen, do what it do. You got people that sometimes born without a mom in the house or a dad in the house, but somehow they try to make a way for them to succeed, and that's the great thing ever. And but the point about, you know, giving money to, you know, the poor, they have this person running for president. I'm not sure if you heard of his name, called Andrew Yang. Mm-hmm. And he was talking about how he wants to propose to give $1,000 to every person from the ages of 16. From the ages of 18 to 64. And I don't know where he tries to go with that. I don't know if that's gonna even be heard, even be, you know, mentioned, because we're talking, you know, it'll be $3.3 trillion a year that it will be just to even pay for that to even happen. And even if that does happen, it's almost like, well, does the country benefits from that? And his solution was, well, if he can just get rid of the welfare program altogether, we'll be able to afford that. And maybe we could, because he's talking about we spend over, $500 billion just on welfare programs in this country. Mm-hmm. So it's just one scenario that he brought up. But I just believe firmly that you have what you want to have, and like me trying to go to school, I'm trying to have what I want to have right now. So I don't believe things should be just given to people straight up, because you're gonna have people like not working for stuff. So it is what it is, and there's that.
Okay, that's a very interesting thing. I'm gonna speak on that whole premise there. Like I said, I don't know the full details too, but we're gonna speak on that. I appreciate your call there, Josh.
All right, man.
All right. So what he said was basically about someone, I didn't catch the name fully, but saying that he would give between 18 and 64 everybody $1,000. What the fuck is $1,000? Now I'm not gonna shit on it. $1,000, it could be beneficial, but what I'm saying is $1,000 is not life-changing money. $1,000 isn't rent-paying money, you know. Let's be realistic, and if you give most people a fucking $1,000 a month, fuck no. What's gonna happen is that $1,000 a month that nobody worked for, So even an additional 12,000 a year, the rich will continue to eat off of that, because what most niggas is gonna do, or not even, and when I'm saying niggas, I'm talking about impoverished minded people. Oh, I got some money. I'm finna go spend it and blow it and try to live in what I think is rich. Oh, well, every month I'm gonna go buy me a pair of J's and a new fit so I can try to impress some other motherfucker who getting that same $1,000 a month. You know what I'm saying? All right, Baker man. But still, that's still $1,000, but it ain't rent money. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying. You know, what is it really to tell, like, and again, I remember, like I said, not that long ago, I was working at Mickey D's. And Mickey D's wasn't even making $1,000 a month, dog. Like, and so I had to supplement that with an extra grind, dog. Like, and so I understand how beneficial it would be to somebody, but at the same time, if you're not trying to make legitimate moves, what's up, Salad? What's the motherfucking deal? If you're not trying to make legitimate, but $1,000 ain't gonna be shit, man. Even if it is $1,000 a month, if you have impoverished mind, they're gonna take that $1,000 a month, and guess what? Now it's a bunch of hoes that know, well, I know how I'm getting my hair done next month. When that check come, I'm finna go get some new nails. I'm finna go get the hair done and do all this, that, and the third. Like, shit. It's just gonna be a bunch more motherfuckers acting like they stunting, and the people who have businesses, the people who are established, they gonna eat, and those people who had a little $1,000, that shit gonna last a week, if that, and then it's gonna fucking disappear, man. You know what I'm saying? And so that's my thing. It's like it's gonna be fucking a joke. Now there's gonna be some smart people, you know, and they're gonna say, okay, I got this $1,000. Let me put this to the side. I ain't even finna touch it. I'm gonna continue grinding. Let me take this $1,000. I'm gonna put this to the side. I'm gonna continue grinding, and they're gonna put their little money to the side, and they'll be smart. You know, maybe save it until they get to enough to where they can, you know, invest in a little business and get out of their situation. But most people, 97% of motherfuckers are not going to do anything if they were to get $1,000 a month, but blow it and have nothing to fucking show for it at the end of the year, and just be looking like, well, that was cool. I got them jeans though. I got them Gucci's. I got this belt, you know. My shit authentic though. Yeah, nigga, we know where you got that $1,000 from to pay for that fucking belt, or buy them Balenciagas, them ugly ass fucking orthopedic shoes and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's exactly. You ain't lying. Outside of it, it's gonna go straight out to somewhere else. And so then they're gonna be looking at her. Then they're gonna still be complaining about it. That's too much racism. It's too much. You giving your money away. You not building nothing up. That's what I say. That's another thing. I was watching that Tears on the Bayou, and it was a guy there, and he was talking about it. He was like, man, you know. And this is why it's something I've said, and this is not out of dislike or hate for anybody, but with niggas, you had to force niggas to spend money with themselves. And so that's why I was not completely against segregation. You know, I didn't live through it. So, you know, and you talk about separate but equal, and they say a lot of stuff wasn't equal. But if you were separate, I think it was a point where you had to make yourself equal. You had to invest in your own community. You had to do your own thing. And basically, old buddy was talking about, I got about an hour into it. I didn't get to see the whole thing. But where old buddy was talking about, man, we had our own communities and everything was cool. So yeah, it was racism, but you really wasn't tripping on it like that, because, you know, because what you have is niggas had their own businesses. They had their own movie theaters. They had all that on your own black owned business there, and that's why you had more well-to-do blacks. But what happened is, once segregation happened, you had people who felt like, okay, well, the whites have everything better. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he wasn't even tripping on right. He said like it was a thing, but it wasn't a thing. You know what I'm saying? It was like 2 seconds into it, and he was just talking about how good everything was. And so that's what I'm saying. And then he started talking about how, you know, fathers started leaving home, you know, from the 70s, and single mothers and all that other stuff. But it like racism wasn't even like the big take on it now. There was some goofy that the woman said there, because they was talking about why is all this stuff happening. She's like, she didn't even know what she was talking about, like that. The government. Like, the government is the reason why we killing each other. That's not the case. But we go get into all that conversation. But, and this is not the first place, because you think about Black Wall Street, even though what happened with Black Wall Street, but why did that happen is because you were forced to spend money in your own community. Like, since you couldn't go spend it outside, you spent it within your own community, and people within the community recognized needs, and then people were able to eat and thrive off of that. And so they were able to build up. Now, is because we don't care about that. We holler racism, but then you go spend your money everywhere else, and how the fuck you gonna build, and how you gonna get, like, and then when you do buy stuff that's whatever, it's overpriced craziness. You know what I'm saying? And so again, I don't really care about none of that at this point. Like I say, you know, I want to see my people do well, but I associate with like-minded people. You know what I'm saying? I associate with everybody, but when it comes to having that kind of conversation, you know, I'm going to associate with people who have the same mentality that I have when it comes to, well, what can we do to improve the community, or what can we do to improve that? And like I say, it is what it is, but it's a lot of craziness. It's not about pointing a bunch of fingers outside everywhere else. You got to build from within. Guess what? Okay, if that shit happened, that shit happened. You know what the problem is. Let's find a solution. But it is what it is. Oh no. But you see the mother, they be proud of that shit. Again, now, let's be honest. I used to be, when I was at U of H, and I ain't stay the whole time, like, but we used to slide across the way. We be all on the tiger walk. Motherfuckers be hanging out on the tiger walk like it was the block, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? It was like, but man, yeah, it's crazy. And that's what they was talking about. They was like, man, it used to be a code in the city. Now these little niggas, they all, because, you know, rap me gang, this, and this. And so all these niggas making up their own little gangs with their own little code of ethics. Like H-Town, especially if you used to listen to the music, man, especially here in Houston, like it was never music wasn't on no jacking shit. It wasn't no love for no fucking jackers, nigga. Like niggas wasn't respecting that jacking shit. Like motherfuckers was respecting hustlers and, you know, getting money and, you know, getting on your grind. You know, the only thing you would hear about a jacker is like, yeah, I got something for the jackers down in H-Town. We ain't scared of no jackers, you know, shit like that. Cause niggas wasn't with that jacking mentality wasn't what it was. It was about getting on your hustle town. You know what I'm saying? And now these young niggas doing any and everything. Ain't no reason behind what they doing. And they don't give a fuck. They don't care about shit. There's no code of ethics. There's no morals. There's no nothing. You know what I'm saying? And so they doing anything. And then that's why I say you seeing why, and you seeing just anything happening because it is what it is. Now, it's funny, like I said, it took a nigga like Meek, and he's not from Houston, though, going to jail. Now, he came back out, even changed his message because, you know, all that rapping, that shit is cool and fine and dandy when you've been rapping for a fucking decade and you ain't never really been in no shit and you continue to perpetuate the message because you eating. You know, he was in a real situation. You know what I'm saying? Yes, it's like 2 or 3 fucking different conversations going on. But, you know, I'm going to spill my deal either way. And it's just crazy because it's a point in time where you got to just own up and say, okay, shit is fucked up. We got to fucking fix it. You know what I mean? And if the motherfuckers is not with what we trying to do, then fuck them. You know what I'm saying? Let them do their thing. But we got to separate and resituate. You know what I mean? And again, we got to figure out a real solution. Let me see what y'all in here talking about. HBCUs produce angry blowbacks that go out in the world in fear. But yeah, that's what I was talking about. Oh yeah, fucking around stomping on the tiger walk, my nigga. And niggas was posting on the tiger walk like it was the block, my nigga. Like it was just really going down. Like niggas was not in class. Niggas out there hollering at hoes. Like, and I know your ass wasn't in class, but I ain't had no class that day. I went to my classes and shit. Yeah, I was skipping. Fuck it, you know. But niggas used to be mad at us. Like, y'all niggas go to a real school. Like, but ain't y'all proud of, you know, what's going on? I'm not knocking TSU. TSU has, what is that, Thurgood Marshall School of Law or something like that. I think they're supposed to have a good pharmacy program, but most of the motherfuckers who go there ain't for that. They ain't going there for that. I don't know people that went there for that and then went out and got a whole different occupation, you know. So it is what it is. But just the mind state there is different. And again, when you talk about everything not being right, you know, people are mad. Like, it's just a whole bunch of shit. I mean, like I said, there's a whole bunch of different levels to shit. And it's the way that we approach shit. And again, you know, it depends on what you're going to school for. You got to think about, you know, you talk about alumni and all this other shit, you know, and there's some of them who are proud or whatever, maybe from further back in the day. But nowadays, again, it's just something cool to say you did. A lot of motherfuckers go to school, don't finish. They get the little fucking, little Pell Grant and bounce. Pell Grant gets you, what, $2,000 or $3,000. And they even be blown that. So what $1,000 a month go do? If you see motherfuckers blow that shit in a fucking week or so, it's craziness. UA trying to eradicate TSU. Obviously, well, yeah, they finna get them up out the way then. Yeah, they gonna squeeze them all the way out, man. That's what it's gonna be, shit. They gonna squeeze them all the way out. So, you know, what y'all in here talking about? UA's turning to Asian. I need to go back to school then. Konnichiwa, bitches. Let's see. Texas State of Party School. Y'all heard about that. What is y'all talking about? Let me go back. Money without effort is money without value. Money in any currency is better earned. I agree. Absolutely. Let's see. But yeah, but that's what you get though. And again, like I said, you get some of these conversations, and that's why I say, man, we got to have a different conversation when it comes to the black conversation, is because we got to stop pointing with all this, was this such and such fault and this such and such fault. Regardless of what happened in the past, that's not going to change shit. You know, if you continue talking about, well, that because it's because of this, it's because of that, you know, that's not going to change a motherfucking thing. You know, ultimately what changes, you making a decision, okay, this is what happened, but this is what I'm going to do to fix it. This is what I'm going to do to change the narrative. This is what I'm going to do to fix the problem. I watched another pretty decent little documentary. I found it pretty interesting. It was about the, I don't know if y'all saw the conservative movement that's growing. And it was a Vice documentary, and I was actually surprised. I think there was a bit of bias in there, but I don't think too much. Look, I done blurred out. Where am I at? But yeah, I'm back. But you know, my thing is, like I say, I don't assign myself to, you know, any party. I look at different things. I think I would lean much more conservative than I do liberal. I mean, it's just because of the things that nowadays with the Democrats and what they're pushing, again, like I say, a lot of identity politics. I don't give a shit about that. Motherfuckers want to be safe. They want to make money, and that's pretty much all that matters. Alfred Tito don't donate to TSU because he ain't go to TSU. He ain't got shit to do with TSU. He gonna donate some of them new cops that come from his training center over to TSU. That's what he gonna do. But shit, you know, because I remember, man, TSU motherfuckers used to be getting, what was that, Greystone and shit. You know, this supposed to be a college, but I can't lie. We got into some shit at U of H too. But it was with some TSU niggas because it was some TSU niggas talking shit, and it caused a situation. We ain't finna get into all that, but niggas be up in there shooting up in that motherfucker and doing all kind of off the wall ass shit, like niggas getting shot, bitches getting shot at TSU and fucking goofy ass shit happening, man. And so again, you know, I don't know if this is this really college, or, you know, this is just, I don't know what the fuck you fucking seeing. It's just tomfoolery, man. It was just a bunch of shit. Like, this ain't higher education. This the same shit a nigga was dealing with like in fucking high school. Like, again, you know, and I'm not knocking it, because there's people who actually do go to class and they earn themselves a degree and they move on. But, you know, ultimately in this world, I'm not blaming nobody for no problems, because if I hadn't seen a motherfucker who looked like me, you know, sound like me, as came up and was able to come from a situation either the same that I was in, worse than I was in, or maybe slightly better than what I was in, and not blame nobody for it and be able to become successful, then I ain't got time for blame. I only got time to aim, and I got a goal, man. You know what I'm saying? I just got a goal. So, you know, and that's it. I can't, like all that other shit, blaming, pointing fingers and shit, man, I ain't got time for it. It's just like, that's just a distraction from what I'm trying to get to. That's kind of how I look at it. But, you know, there's that. The same Mexican driver, you told you should look like trash. Man, again, you know, taking care of your own shit. The same thing, you know, when you talk about a lot of motherfuckers in the hood, you taking care of your own shit. Motherfuckers don't give motherfuckers throwing trash on the ground, you know, shit. Paint your house up, fix your fence up, you know, take care of your yard, clean your shit up a little bit, you know. You'll be surprised how what you can do with a little bit of elbow grease, you know. But motherfuckers don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? They feel like, you know, it is what it is. They just don't give a fuck. Motherfuckers will put in $50,000 into their car, you know. And that motherfucker start off as a fucking hoop scoop, and they'll throw a load of money in their car. You know what I'm saying? But then they motherfucking me don't want to put it in their own home. You know what I'm saying? She was part of the one of the one. I couldn't think of her name for shit. Cortez, or I don't even know what her name was. AOC is what I remember they call her. But she was saying some off the wall shit. Now, it was something they were trying to give her a hard time about. That it's actually a true thing though. She was talking about having a designated set of clothing to wear at night. Because Mark Zuckerberg does that. He wears the same thing basically every day. So he doesn't have to think about that, because they talk about that your brain can only make so many decisions a day. And especially when you're in a situation where you have to make a ton of decisions daily, it can impact you. And so, you know, he does that to minimize the decision that he has to make every day. But she was one of those kind of pushing that after a certain tax rate, after $10 million, that everything gets taxed 70%. And I think she's an interesting situation. Like I said, I don't know the full details of her story, but wasn't she like a barista or some shit like that a fucking year or two ago? And it just lets you know. Same thing, with, like I say, what's her name? Candace Owens. Like I said, the internet is crazy because, like I said, there was the Candace Owens chick. She was a liberal not that long ago. And then, she flipped the script and blew up. And they were talking about her and the Vice thing. Yeah, that's what I was talking about, the Vice thing. And, and my deal is this, and this is why I say it's harder to relate when you start talking about liberal ideas. And this is the reason why, like I said, a lot of this, the Democrats, and this is their problem, is because they're not basing things off the facts anymore. They're listening to a bunch of people who want to operate off feelings. Because the dude in there, he's like, when he was talking about, I don't know if she'd really be welcome, because you're already hostile. You don't want to hear what somebody you deem as conservative has to say. They automatically Uncle Tom, they automatically this. But the logic is, what have the Democrats done for you? You've been voting for them for forever. And when have they ever owned up to a promise that they've made to you? Never, ever, ever. Why keep doing the same thing? Like, I don't see how that doesn't make sense to them. Because you bought the fucking story that they fucking, it's like, if you don't stand for something, you fall for anything. But my thing is like, you have to fucking open your eyes and see. You're gonna be a Democrat, fine. Why? Why are you one? The same reason if you're gonna, you a sellout or you're this, that because you're a conservative. Well, why are you a Democrat? What is it? What is it that they've done that has earned your vote, that you just haven't given it to them, and yet they fail you every time? A bunch of black people. I think what starts swinging a lot of people is a bunch of people voted for Barack and nothing happened, and I think that's what opened a lot of people's eyes. And then from there, I think they started paying more attention to the party's ideals and things. But my thing, what? But a gas people, heck, I didn't see that at all. Yeah, that's craziness, man. It said the tax shit work later on this year. But like I say, but that's my thing. Yeah. You out of luck. You fuck out of luck. And that's what I'm saying. But that's my thing is, you start taxing motherfuckers 70 million, saying, you can do good. 70%. You can only do good enough. Like, kiss my motherfucking ass. Like, if I've grinded to build something and I can only really capitalize on, if I built a business where I profit $100 million a year, and you're telling me, I'm only going to see a small percentage of that overall. Basically that first 10 million, and then that next 90 million at 30%. So I don't even know what that is. That's about 30 million. So basically, if I grinded about and I don't even know if the numbers are right, I'm just throwing it out there. If I grinded and basically put $100 million worth of effort in, that I'm gonna see $40 million for my effort. And you're just gonna take the rest of my money to do whatever you deem is right with it. Like, I don't even have a say so in the fucking $60 million that you've basically taken from me to do it whatever you fucking want to do with it. That shit ain't gonna cut it, man. Like, nobody's finna fall for that. Like, fuck that, dog. Like, if I fucking put in the work and make a fucking $100 million, I want to pay I want my $100 million. Now, I was talking about though earlier that I do believe there may need to be a flat rate. I think that would be most ideal. Everybody pays their fair cut, And I know people talk about, you create jobs and things like that. I understand all that when you have more money. That could be, it could not be. Because like I said, we talked about, pretty soon the artificial intelligence and everything that's coming with that. It is what it is. But I think that there should be a flat rate. Everybody pays their fair share. And that just kind of is what it is. Say last Democrat probably worthy of the title was executed. Yeah, that's probably it. That's a wrap. And again, you saw what happened when he started saying the stuff. For moves he really made, he was just talking about it before we get in. They wiped him out. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. Again, you say 10% tax rate for all. I agree with that. 10% for everybody. Shit, I do, because I'm trying to be a billionaire, goddamn. From Saw Sports, then the Den, which then turns into the Honcho Entertainment Network. And I'm gonna give y'all much better programming than BET ever could. It's gonna be some live. We're gonna bring y'all on, have your real live religious debates. Then that'll maybe start bringing people back. They'll be like, man, forget this church shit, this false prophet. These niggas really getting it in because they passionate about what they believe. So bow. Now you start giving people some informative information. You know, you allow people to argue 3 or 4 thing, get tri-ball. Trust me, we're gonna invest deeply in the tri-ball. That's gonna be, look, when motherfuckers get tired of the NFL bullshit, when that shit turn into flag football, they're gonna be like, this tri-ball shit is alive and shit shaking. And then, you know, Sauce Porn Production, that's what's gonna take it over the billion. Sauce Porn Production is gonna be the shit. All BBW porn all the time because America is getting fat as shit anyway. I'm getting fat. Fuck it. You know, it is what it is. So there's that. That's how we go make it shake. You know what I'm saying? But seriously, I just think that, like I say, it has to be a different perspective. It has to be a different perspective because, you know, we sitting here mad, angry, and blaming, and, you know, getting mad about shit that's happened in the past ain't helping your fucking future. And so that's why I say we got to get out of all this, and that's what you have a lot of these Democrats, like I say, feeling. Oh, wait, let me get to the point because I jumped to like 5 or 6 different points. But the guy, you know, when they brought the little conservative chick in, he was like, well, you know, for me to really be able to listen to him, you know, you got to be able to explain. You got to be able to come with facts and your emotions. So when he said and your emotions, I was done. I'm like, man, I'm done with that shit. Like, I don't give a fuck about your goddamn emotions. Bring me the facts and we solid. I don't give a fuck about your emotions. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, straight BBW porn. You know what I'm saying? No fabs. BBW from like thick to BBW. I'm just gonna focus on that one zone. It's gonna be some of the wildest shit you ever seen. I don't know how I'm gonna make it happen, but I'll figure it out. I'll have my own niche. But when that dude said, you know, for you to really basically validate why you want to be a conservative, you need to come with the facts and your emotions, or show something. But like, fuck that shit, dog. Fuck that fucking show your emotion shit. Like, emotion, man. And here's the deal. I'm gonna wrap it up here in a little bit, probably about 10 minutes. But you say, hi, man, I got you, Jared. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? You can karate kick the pussy. Bitch don't want to act right. Yeah. Like that bottle. That shit was dope. Need to get the casting couch. But again, like I say, man, look, I got jobs for everybody. I'm telling y'all, look, we just, like I said, I've mapped out. It's gonna be step by step. You know, and like I say, this week I'm gonna really start promoting that first step and trying to get it working. Start coming more content for the Den and for the sauce. Like I say, I'm telling you, I'm dead serious, man. Like, why not? This is the age of opportunity. Why not? You know, because it can't all be solely vested in YouTube, because YouTube, as a matter of fact, they was fucking up the last few days. I've seen some of even the bigger creators talking about like shit wasn't going out, and these motherfuckers with millions of subscribers and shit like that, and weren't getting no views and things like that. So, yeah, the deal, man. I'm trying to get my sleep back on track. You know, again, like I said, I was actually pretty good. I woke up pretty refreshed today. But we gonna make, we gonna have to do something. We gonna, if the Texans don't want to act right, then we gonna buy our own fucking team. We gonna figure it all out. Like, we gonna make it shake. God damn, nigga can't get no sleep. Ain't that a bitch? Y'all want them old days when I used to be in here blowed top stuff. Look, man, you see what y'all talking about? Fucking waking up. That's what y'all want. That's what y'all trying to get a nigga on. But nah, man. But like I say, you know, like I feel like this is the golden age of opportunity, and we're just in a weird transition. I think you got to strike now, because I think pretty soon shit is gonna start going downhill. But like I say, as far as I want to use YouTube as a platform to do other things, like I say, there's a There's an end game for the sauce, and this is the thing I want badder than anything else, and I just can't talk about it because somebody could take that shit and run with it. It wouldn't be the same, but they could try to take that shit and run with it. But eventually have other things happening that I used to be lit. I used to be lit in the Kush Den. Used to be fucking stone. Have 2 or 3 of them bitches rolled up. Probably make it through 1.5 of them hoes. That other one just be hit that hoe every little bit and it just wouldn't quite make it. Just depending on some of it depends. It depends. But oh man, it'll be game over with. I'm telling y'all, like right now, the next step, like I said, I'm gonna start promoting it probably tomorrow because it's something that I want to do to help benefit the den and the sauce. And then I think once that starts happening, I think shit will it will take off on its own after that. So I think that's why I say it's just some things that have to happen, and I got to really start pushing it real tough to make that happen. Yeah, that's been a motherfucking Bailey been with this job. That shit will never die down, baby. When that boy said she was thick, and then somebody came with the motherfucking picture. That bitch is the anti-thick. Like that bitch is thick. You know. So again, like I say, you know, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Yeah, I would be out there. I would be talking screwed up. I'd be that motherfucking look, man. So, you know. But I'm telling y'all, it just as things start rocking, y'all just continue to fuck with your boy, man. I'm gonna bring y'all good content. I'm gonna bring y'all good entertainment. I'm gonna start taking some of this shit to the next level. And then I'm saying, you know, it's just gonna take a little bit. But I plan on this year reaching a significant goal. You know what I'm saying? I was at a well-dressed number 2. Oh my God. But you know, I lost my train of thought. But yeah, just gonna say not putting too much in the put everything in the YouTube boat. And that's why I say that's another thing that I have to start working on, because YouTube just want to come in here and say, you know what, fuck you, Honcho, and fuck your channels. Wham. And it's all over with. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's something to consider. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling into the den this evening?
You have Professor Dizzle.
Professor Dizzle. What's the motherfucking deal, man? What you want to drop in the den tonight?
I got a little bit.
All right.
First of all, these motherfuckers in the chat. I'll let y'all go ahead and talk all that shit. Because, look, as far as the religious shit goes, you can believe in whatever the fuck you want to believe in. I believe in what I believe in, but I don't knock nobody else's beliefs, okay? Mm-hmm. So let's just stick with the facts. I'm not finna argue none of the shit that's stated in the Bible. I'm not even finna go there. Mm-hmm. But you got to understand that some people are faith-based and some people are fact-based, okay? Now, I'm not saying that you can't believe in what you believe in, as I previously stated. But other people like to go off of cold, hard facts. One dude said that the earth, he didn't believe that the earth was that old, even though we found a scientific way to figure out how old things are that are older than we can, you know what I'm saying, read back in any book to figure out what was going on in those certain times. Okay, so the only way that we can figure that out, there's a scientific way where you can actually do a certain thing to get the results, to confirm that this is actually the way this works, or this is what this is. Okay. Again, I'm not knocking your faith, but at the same time, you believing in somebody else's word. Now, it kind of does work both ways, but the whole Bible, every chapter is a different name, which is basically written by a different person. Now, everybody's saying that this is God's word, but God didn't write the book. There's nowhere in the Bible that God was talking in the first person. They were saying what he said. Okay? So basically there was a bunch of authors that was writing about their stories or stuff like that. So it's a book of stories. And this shit that the Bible ain't a book, it is a book. Last time I checked, it's got a spine, it's got pages, it's got number pages, and it's got words, and it's got chapters. So does every other fucking book that's in the land. Just because you hold that book more special than the rest of them, don't make it not what it is at its foundation. It's a book, and it's a book of stories. So what you're supposed to do, in my opinion, is supposed to read the stories and then use that, try to gain the morality from the stories, understand the lessons in the stories, not take them verbatim or just completely literally what they are. It's you can choose to believe it if you want to, which is fine, but understand the lesson that it's trying to teach you. That's the most important part. So it don't matter, you know what I'm saying, who your God is or what you believe in. Do you understand the lessons that they're trying to teach you? That's the most important thing. And obviously, people more concerned about the status of the book or putting it on a pedestal than what is actually trying to tell you. You're missing the whole point. That's not the point of the book. Is for you to hold it high and mighty and dear. It's for you to understand what's written in the motherfucker. The value is the knowledge, not the physical being of it. It doesn't matter. It holds no value. Anyway, about this Democrat, Republican, rich, poor shit.
Okay.
It's really simple, okay? And I tend to oversimplify things because a lot of people can't understand a lot of intricacies in certain things. So I really try to break it down to you where you could just take it at its purest form. Now that doesn't mean that there aren't idiosyncrasies in everything, because there is, okay? And I'm not saying, I'm making sure that that's understood. When the Democrats are running or have the presidency or they have control over the House and the Senate, what they tend to do is they tend to get more of the taxation from the people that are more wealthy. When the Republicans are running the show, they tend to give the wealthy breaks so that they're able to keep more of their money. Okay? So out of all this tax money, where do you think the rest of it comes from? So when they give the richer people the breaks, the rest of the balance that they broke from them has got to come from somewhere. Because you know just as well as I do, the government ain't finna short theyself.
Nah.
So y'all can try that bullshit all you want to. So, and it's this simple. I agree with what you said, Honcho. 70%, that's fucking ridiculous. Okay, I'm not a rich nigga. And I still think that that's bullshit. I'm not a Democrat or Republican. I'm a me. Yeah. I'm Jay Dizzle. I'm for me. Whatever sounds best for me in my situation, that's what I'm for. If I was a billionaire, I'd probably lean more toward a certain side than the other side. But since I'm not, I'm about me. And everybody should be about them. Don't worry about the rich if you're not one of the rich niggas. You may want to be one, but then you worry about their problem when you get there. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So you can miss me with all that bullshit. Just worry about yourself and what you're doing right now. So somebody's got to get fucked. That's basically what it is. So depending on who's running the show, somebody got to take the dick. Well, we had Obama, so the rich people was taking the dick. Now we got fucking Trump, so the poor people is taking the dick now. So guess what? You got to get the dick back. I done took mine. It's your turn again. That's basically how it's been working. Yeah. And the fundamental, just to break it down really simply again, the fundamental principles of both parties is the Republicans wanted to limit government interference in people's business. And the Democrats want to extend more government reach into people's business. So the Republicans saying basically, I want to be able to do whatever I want to do and make as much as I want to make without you putting limits on me. Yeah. Democrats are saying, no, we need to limit some of the shit because if we let y'all get too much freedom, you just going to fuck all the other people over and then you just going to hold all the wealth and you don't have to spend it on nothing because you hold everything. So it's kind of it's a seesaw. Okay, so they got to give a little and we got to get a little. It's got to go back and forth. Okay, and it's very simple, people. It's not that complex. All right, so I do believe in capitalism, and I do believe, you know what I'm saying, because the socialism shit, I was curious about it. I did do my research, and like Broderick said, which I don't tend to agree with him a lot, he's right. That shit don't work. Yeah. It just don't work because, and what really made me understand it was, I can't think of the guy's name right now. God damn it. But he said it's two different things, and it's about this equality shit. He said, It's two stages. It's two opposites of, well, not two opposites. Two things of equality. God damn it. Equality of outcome and equality of opportunity. And he said equality of opportunity works. He said basically what that means, that everybody has a shot at a certain thing, or at everything pretty much. But equality of outcome does not work, because everything cannot be equal as far as the outcome of shit. So he's saying that you know, women want equality, and if it was actually equality of outcome, where every job or every company had to have half men and half women working at every job, every position had to be half men, half women. It would not work, because both of those sexes may not trend toward that job. Like, say, for instance, he used a position like a bricklayer. How many women bricklayers you know, or have you ever seen in life? You don't. He said men tend to gravitate more toward the jobs where you work outside, the jobs that are more physically demanding, because we're better equipped to handle those jobs than women do. How many women you know work outside?
I don't know any.
I couldn't name one. As hard as I was thinking, I was like, I don't know one. And I know hundreds of women. I don't know one. Not a single one. And the ones that do work at the jobs where you got the guys that work outside and do the manual labor, they work in the office. And that's not being a sexist thing. That's just a fucking fact. How many male secretaries you know? Oh, don't worry. I'll wait. I'll wait. It's just that people tend to trend towards jobs that more befit them as a person. And ain't nothing wrong with that. Not saying that there can't be a woman bricklayer. Before I get women all up in here, oh, well, you just know. No, I'm not painting with a broad brush. I'm just speaking literal facts. And this is not something that I'm having my faith in. This is something that you can literally apply to your own situation and think about it of the people you know, and then assess the outcome for yourself. So people, just get off the bullshit about worrying about everybody else and worry about yourself. If these people don't want to go out and get jobs and they starve, fuck them. I feel bad, but at the same time, I'm out here getting mine. You got to get out here and get yours. But at the same time, need y'all to understand this too. Inflation is what's fucking everything up right now. And it's getting worse and worse and worse, because the pay scale hasn't risen. It stayed the same over probably, I would say, the past 10, 15 years. It's been pretty much the same. There hadn't been much movement. And I could just take one thing and let you know the difference. Just think about fuel prices. Okay? Gas done went way the fuck up. And y'all know, because everybody out there pays for this shit, especially if you live in Texas, because you ain't shit if you ain't got no ride. Straight like that. Ain't no Ubers doing well out there in the H, to be honest with you. They doing better in Cali and shit, but I digress from my point. The companies got used to making a certain amount of profit margin, which is fine, because if I own the company, hell, if we can keep making this amount of money, then let's do what we got to do to keep making that amount of money. Well, what happens when the product, what it costs to make your product, and what it costs to ship your product, and all these other corporations, they start raising their prices. Well, now all of a sudden it lessens their profit margin. So now you got to figure out a way to try to counteract that. So you raise the price of your product. Okay, so now while you're raising the price of your product, guess what? Even the people that work for you have to purchase your product, or they purchase other products that the prices done went up as. But if the pay didn't go up, so now they're having less money to do shit with. And not only is the price of products going up, insurance, which I think is the biggest fucking racket on the face of the goddamn planet. Fuck insurance. That shit is bullshit. But we can save that for a whole nother conversation, because I go on that shit for about an hour and a half. Easy. But anyway, so all of these prices are going up. So you got a regular person who's working, and I'm not going to say a bullshit job. Let's just say a nice, decent job. You're making $15 an hour. Your insurance is costing this much. And don't fuck around and have a wife and kids. No. So now your insurance skyrockets. So now you don't have that much to bring home. So you can't live in as nice a house as you would be able to. You know what I'm saying? It's just a regular working man with a family. Let's say the wife worked too. Well, somebody's got to watch the children. If they're not in school, you got to send them to daycare. And we all know daycare is expensive. So now what they were trying to do is push the minimum wage up. But here's where the rub came in. The people that were working these specialized jobs were making this amount of money that they talking about pushing the minimum wage up. But instead of them saying, well, if that's going to be the floor, well, then we need to increase the ceiling on what I'm doing. And if they decided to do that, then they would have to go to the company to make them pay them more. They didn't want to do that. So they just want them to keep the minimum wage down to where it is so they could feel like they still got their status, even though they the ones that's suffering just damn near as much as the people that's trying to get the minimum wage up. Okay, so here's what happened. If you in this good job and you have one accident or something happens and then your insurance don't cover it, now you in debt. Then you put, you know what I'm saying, a mortgage on your house. You in further debt. So we got so many people that's in debt that supposedly got good jobs and struggling their whole damn life trying to get out of debt. I'm trying to get out of debt. Trying to get out of debt. Don't have no college loan.
No,
Don't have that either. So you can get that good job. So what it is, and this is where some people have this certain logic where, okay, well then the rich people need to take the hit so I can get myself up out of debt. So I could try to make something more of myself. But I can't get nowhere as long as I got this debt pulling me the fuck down. Or I got this woman now as a baby mama, you know what I'm saying? So now I got this child support. So that's hitting me too. I got insurance, I got child support, I got a house note, car note, insurance, which is the fucking racket again, cell phone bill. You got all this shit. And the money's not there. But the company, which you don't see as a person, you see as a building, basically. You know, something like that. You like, well, shit, they could take a little, if I can get some more money, I can help myself out of this shit. But it's not happening. So therein lies the rub. Everything else that went up, the cost of living that went up, the cost of products that went up, but the pay hasn't. And I can tell you firsthand because I'm a truck driver. And they said the truck driver pay haven't went up in probably 20, 30 years.
Yeah.
And that's bullshit because we keep the country going.
Yeah.
Point blank period. Because I've done a lot of research into what would happen if the truckers went on strike. Everybody would be fucked. Not just some of y'all, not just the poor people. Everybody would be fucked. Point blank period. Because it wouldn't matter how much money you got. It's about what resources you have at that point. So it's pretty much simple. Economics ain't that hard. If the money don't come from somewhere, it's got to come from somewhere else. It's just deciding on who's going to pay the balance. Yeah. Somebody's got to pay. It's got to come from somewhere. And after all this paying that we doing, no matter how much you complaining or how much you paying, the country is still falling further and further into debt. So is there an end in sight? That's why the dollar is falling. So all this shit that we fighting for and fighting over is slowly losing more value. The more we live or the further that this thing goes along. So it's going to have to be some kind of radical idea because either way ain't working. Taxing the rich more or not, giving them a break and then putting more on the poor people, giving the rich people a break, hoping that they'll hire more poor people so we could push the bottom up. But it's not happening because what they doing, they just sitting on the money. Well, I got the money. I don't need to hire no more people because I'll make a more profit. So now that's a new gap, and that's what they're trying to control. They're trying to keep that gap. So I understand the basic philosophy of the Democrats, but they just don't execute it worth the fuck. It's very poorly executed, and they don't explain it very fucking well.
Yeah.
The Republicans explain it very well. Look, you do this, you earn this, you get this. That's really fucking simple. So I understand why some people are Democrats, and I understand why some people are Republicans. But what I don't understand is how, even if it would be like people just so stuck on this one side that no matter what they do, they just gonna ride with them regardless, whether it's beneficial to them individually or not. It's just that they want to identify with this party. They want to be a follower instead of being an individual. So I think if everybody would just worry about them and their own shit, we'd be a lot better off. And if you can help somebody else if you're in that position.
I agree. I absolutely agree. I agree with that 100%, man. As far as if people were more concerned about their own shit, I think we would be far better off. I definitely agree.
Ain't nothing wrong with striving for greater, y'all. It's just that sometimes it's obstacles, befall you. Everybody got setbacks. But sometimes you got to grind through it. But it just depends on what your plan is to begin with. You know what I'm saying? If you go to college, you're going to start out with debt. But you know that you can start at a higher pay scale for the most part at certain positions. Some people that don't go to college figure I'll just work my way through. Well, with my experience, I don't have that debt. I could just run through it. But if you have any kind of setback, then you're going to be in debt too. So it's just all about managing debt. And as a country, we suck at it. We fucking suck at it. That's everybody across the board. Democrats, Republicans, the other motherfuckers was independent. We suck at it. So we need to figure this shit out. I don't have a solution. I wish I did. I really do. Yeah. But if we can figure this shit out, where we can get the dollar actually being worth something again, man, we'd be unstoppable again. But right now, the U.S. is just slowly falling short. And all these other countries are advancing, and we steady just falling behind. We're not even as smart as we should be.
Yeah, that's true.
We're not as driven as we should be. We got a long way to go. And that's not just black, white. That's the whole fucking country. We so busy fighting amongst each other, we're not seeing that the other countries are getting ahead of us. Because we too busy squabbling amongst each other.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. That's why the Asians come in and they winning on everything, goddamn it. They ain't worried about they ain't worried about none of the bullshit.
I ain't mad at them. But you don't see them motherfuckers fighting all the time. You don't see them arguing.
Yeah. This is true, man.
They ain't beefing with each other. They helping each other, man.
Mm-hmm. That's wild, man. Man, Jay Dizzle, I think you killed it with that one, man.
Shit. So stop beefing in the chat. Let that man believe in the Bible. If he want to believe in the Bible, that's fine. And if the other man don't believe in the Bible, then that's fine too. Let him do him. Worry about yourself. If you love God, then you love God. That's between you and him. Ain't got nothing to do with nobody else. Because when it's your time to go, it's going to be between you and him. Not nobody else in the chat.
Yeah.
It's simple. Stop making it so complicated, America. God damn it.
This is America. Already, man. Man, I appreciate the call there, Jay Dizzle.
All right, Chief.
Already. Man. I agree, man. I mean, he hit on a lot of points, man. Speaking of that truck driver thing, and now that he said it, man, just think about it. Just think about it. If the truck drivers took off one day, it's a wrap. Ain't none of y'all getting shit from Amazon. All that Amazon Prime shit over with, son. Nobody getting shit. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, just it's a lot of points, and I think that's ultimately what it comes down to. Because that's what I say, man. I look at certain things and I say, okay, I understand, the Democratic point of view. I look at certain things and I understand the conservative. What the fuck does this thing look like that? I'm tripping. But my thing is, yeah, you got to really, honestly, you got to just give a fuck about yourself. And I know, and I catch myself, getting into certain conversations and things too. And sometimes when I step back, I'm like, man, what the fuck that shit got to do with me? And ultimately that's what it is. And I guess, that's why I say I don't really assign myself to anything, because like I said, I'm not a big Trump fan. But like I said, I can agree with a lot of things that conservative people, speak. I'm not big on the identity politics, but I understand, certain things that, the Democrats or more liberal people will feel like they're going through. I think that there's just there has to be a common ground that has to be established. Man, it was something I saw today. Fuck. Where did I hear it? But basically, damn, I need to go back and find it. But basically, we're saying instead of us being so busy looking for the differences, we need to be more focused on the similarities. And I think that once it comes down to it, we all want the same shit. You know what I'm saying? We all want the same goddamn thing. It's just the packaging might be wrapped a little bit differently. You know, our packaging might be wrapped a little bit differently. It may be some historical reason why we like this a little bit more, or whatever else it may be. But ultimately, people all want the same shit. And that's to have a nice, comfortable life with their family, you know, be able to feed their families, you know, protect their families. I think that's ultimately what, and as Americans, I would assume that we all want. As you know, people in a first world country, I mean, people in third world countries should want the same thing, but I think we all want the same thing, you know, to be able to live a nice life and be okay, and not have to be worried and concerned about, you know, where your next meal coming from, or, you know, how you gonna keep this roof over your head, or, you know, whatever else it may be, you know. And so I think that that's kind of where it is, you know. Because I think you got a lot of people who say a lot of shit, but I think a lot of people say a lot of shit. You know, that's what I say. I look at like a lot of these media talking heads, and I think they're good. Again, we talked about marketing earlier. I think they're good at marketing themselves. But I don't believe everybody who's on the media, who's on the CNNs or the Fox News or whatever channel, you know, whatever they promote every day. I don't really think a lot of these people completely believe a lot of the shit that they're saying. You know what I'm saying? And I think they know where they have an avenue. Because like some of these people, I'm just like, there's no way you're saying what you're really saying. But they know who their followers are. They know who supports them. And they give those people what they want, you know. So big guy said, "We need to, man." That's what I say. Man, I'm working on some things, man. Like I said, it's some things that I'm definitely working on. Got some plans. Like I said, I just got to handle some business on my end, and just if a few things fall in line as they should be, you know, really want to start. Like I say, this year, I'm telling you, 2019 is the year of sauciness, when we really start making a splash on the scene. Because let me tell you something, like, before we wind it down, I said I was gonna wrap it up here in a minute, but what I realized, you know, and again, I stick by everything I said, because I didn't say it was a fact. Everything that I did state was true, that somebody that I value, you know, passed along some information to me. Did it come to fruition the way that I thought it would? No. But again, like I say, you know, it is what it is. So I'm not backing away from that statement. You know, motherfuckers like, well, you said it was absolutely going to happen. I never said that. You know, I said, this is what I heard. This is the possibility. I also stated, you know, multiple times throughout the day, I didn't see the things happening that was showing that was true. But again, I went and said, you know, I told people anyway, because people asked what it was. So, but what I noticed about the Jim Harbaugh comments and relating this to the sauce and everything with that, I realized that it sparked a conversation in the city. You know, this little old YouTube channel, you know, talking whatever. So I ain't really got that many followers on Twitter or anything like that. A lot of people outside looking in and whatever that tuned in for that one show or whatever, and to try to, you know, say whatever. It doesn't really matter. I don't care, because ain't nobody gonna do nothing about it. But I saw that it made some waves, because you start seeing some other stations and start having that conversation that nobody was having until that that comment was made. And you start seeing a couple of days, you know, people talking about this, and this. And so that let me know, you know, where are we there yet? No, absolutely not even close. But that lets me know that someone is paying attention, someone is listening, and that the sauce can be something. So again, it is what it is. And so I feel like 2019 will be the year that we climb to the next level. And the den, of course, where the sauce goes, the den goes. It's a whole different thing. But we will definitely make that happen. Let's say, how do you accept the challenge? Yeah, you just put the exclamation point challenge, put a space, and then put the name of whoever it, you know, whoever it is. But that's my thing. I'm like I say, you know, for the long haul, it's just certain things. Like if I see that things are going as they should be, then, you know, we gonna continue to drip. And as long as it grows, as long as it becomes a thing, But like I say, a couple of these the next milestones that I want to take or I want to make, again, like I talk about reaching goals and things like that, it'll be very interesting. And I think that it will definitely significantly increase the recognition without taking away from what it is. You say, let you do the intro. We might work that out. We might work that out. Shoot me I don't know if you got hit me on the Twitters. I think I checked that more than anything else. On the Twitter or the Instagram. I just be so bad about checking DMs, man. Sometimes I apologize. Sometimes it'd be like 2 or 3 days before I check the damn DMs. But so the Texans keep this shit up. And that's my thing with the sauce, man. And that's why I say, you know, one, why I love the Den, because the Den is organic. It is what it is. But the sauce is, right now, it's so Texans dependent. And it's cool, but it's not cool. Especially if they continue trending with what they've been doing, like the moves that were made today, or lack of. And again, I noticed that first on, like the first season I started kind of really talking it. Like I say, when Watson went down, you know what I'm saying? When Watson went down, shit. I mean, I saw the viewership drop immediately. You know, it was some people that were still fucking with it. They were suffering through the season, but as it got worse and worse, and there was no chance of playoffs or nothing like that, that first year, that told me, you know, okay, yeah, it definitely is where the Texans go, is where you know, the viewership goes. Because even if you think about them first 3 games, you know, losing, I started seeing that third game, you start seeing a little bit of a difference. Then it took a little bit for people to kind of get back into it, but you know, it found its way back. So it is what it is. The Alvarez coach should need to pay a little tithe to the building for what? Not go Jonestown me. So people need an outlet to complain. Yeah, and that's the funny thing about it, though. That's the funny thing about it. Like, as long as the Texans kind of stay on that brink of possibility, but as long as they don't fall too far, like people will, I think complaining gets people more energized than you know, being happy. And that's not even saying that I observed from the sauce. That's just some from other things I've seen. And I still haven't seen The Godfather yet. Still haven't seen that. I see, been chilling on the Twitter. Actually, that Twitter shit is excuse me. That Twitter can get you, but there's some gold nuggets on Twitter, and then there's just some intolerable shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, you just gotta be you gotta be you know, it's traditional at this point. Yeah. Let me see. Let's see. It's a Godfather ought to be. Yes, I mean, again, like I said, I think that's what you have. You have too many people who fucking listen to some of the shit that happens on Twitter, and then, you know, they think that's what people are really thinking. You know what I love? I love when who the fuck that started? What is this shit? I'm gonna be honest, man. It's a lot of podcasts. Like I troll sometimes with my fucking posts on the gram and whatever. And so sometimes it'll be other podcasts. I use like Black Podcast, stuff like that, you know, on my pictures and things of that nature. One thing that always gets me is those people like, man, here, you got great content. Just, you know, hit us up for this. Like, I'm not hitting that shit up, that old spam shit. But I get a lot of other black podcasts that they like all the shit, because, you know, it's an old automated ass thing. A lot of them, this motherfucker win like 20 motherfucking things. God damn, I ain't even seen them thing. But let me take this call real quick. Give me un segundo, por favor. But I look at a lot of, man, and it gets boring to me, and I'm gonna tell y'all why in a second. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling into the den this evening?
Hey, it's your boy Josh again, man. But about the Twitter stuff, man, like, I just be on there just to be like, just try to see what's up, try to see if there's any big news happening, because I don't really watch news like that. No. I don't want to see the Trump hate fest going on 24/7. So I stopped years ago, probably watching CNN or Fox News or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But the one trolling I did was like, yeah, like I know, like I talked about how this little girl from Atlanta that wanted to play football and shit. And but the thing I don't get is like she's a Patriots fan, right?
Yeah.
But she like don't like the cold. So with me, like it doesn't make sense because and then what happened was like I was trying to post and I was like, if I get you a whole free ticket to a Patriots game, you probably wouldn't even go because it'd be like -10 degrees or some shit. And then she just stopped talking to me or something like that. So apparently she must have got mad or some shit. So sometimes I only troll people like if you're not making sense. Like in some cases, like we're real fans in the NFL. Like if I see you, like you're a real fan, I wouldn't troll you. But if you say some crazy shit or some tomfoolery or some shit, or like if I see you a bandwagon, then I'm gonna troll shit out you. So it is what it is.
Already. There's a lot of motherfuckers out there that do that shit because they know that's what's hot, and especially if it's a female talking about football stuff. If she's not a true fan, people still give her a lot of love and credit for it. So I don't blame you on that one. I don't blame you on that one at all. But that's the bet, man. I appreciate the call there, Josh.
All right, man.
Already. Or tomfoolery or Tom Bradery. But here's my thing. Let me make that the last call, and I'm gonna get ready. I'm gonna wind it down. I've been saying it, but and here's the thing that bothers me about most black podcasts. Because somebody had tagged me in something on Salt Sports about somebody going on some sports show or something, and they tagged some other podcasts in there. And some of these are based out of Houston. I looked at them. One is a bunch of females, and all they talking is celebrity shit. Like I forgot what this shit was called, but it was something, and it's 3 females. All they doing is talking about a bunch of celebrity shit and a bunch of rap and R&B and who doing this, who wore this shit. I fucking hate that shit. Like I know we have our every now and then we'll have like a brief celebrity, but I cannot fucking sit here and talk about a celebrity all fucking day. They say all fake black content. All right, was advocating for a couple of years back. Man, I've seen a whole bunch of shit. Twitter is a weird thing. What was the thing that they were calling on Twitter? Talking about it was white chicks with tan. They were calling them fake black. They said that they were acting like they were mixed or something like that. Like, I don't even think that's the deal. You know, niggas ain't tripping on if you white or mixed. You about in the same boat. I don't think niggas is acting like, you know, them bitches that damn exotic. But like I say, you know, motherfuckers be. She back to the NFL, she gonna get her ass dusted. As soon as she do, they gonna be talking about, oh, the NFL's too violent. Say Housewives, but I've never seen a house. I couldn't even tell you. All I know is them motherfuckers be fighting, and that's why I say I don't even fuck with it. But again, blackfishing, yeah, that's what it is, blackfishing. You know what I'm saying? And the thing about it is, that's why I say, like, I couldn't base a whole fucking show, but obviously, like, what this is telling me is because they have significantly more viewership than I do, combining both of them, is that this is all motherfuckers giving. And that's why I say I can't do, and I don't want to, but I couldn't do like a black only podcast. Like, we're going to talk about black issues because, like I say, as a black man, that's just something that it is. And if other people have commentary and like, I'm not tripping on none of that type of shit, but I can't do an only black podcast because when we talk about shit, we talk about the culture. All we want to do is talk about celebrities. And then we talk about how broke we are, this, and this, because we getting held down. But we talking about a bunch of rich ass celebrities. Like, what the fuck is really going? Like, to me, that it just doesn't make sense. Of course, we talking about a few individuals in an overall people situation. But my thing is all this fakery because everybody wants to be a fake celebrity. Like, honestly, I don't want to be I don't want to be like, if I had a better way of doing it. And it's like I said, because I'm not even big about being on camera. Like, I've got to the point where I'm cool with it now. But it's not like it's not like I'm here, hey, it's me, and I want to be famous. It's not that. It's like, I'm just here for the conversation, honestly, from the sauce, and I guess to put a face with the conversation. Because I find some of that other stuff kind of weird, like some of them other channels, like, especially those channels that talk a lot of shit, but I'm not going to show my face because if I'm going to say the shit, I'm going to I'm on my face on it. Whatever repercussions come with it, we'll deal with that. Well, we don't like to see people fall. Yeah, and that's the thing. They'll lift you up just to watch you fall. you know. So if you old guy like you, those shows make you feel good. Hey, I mean, it ain't nothing wrong with looking at, you know, some attractive women. I don't know those, again, like I say, you know, a lot of what they promote as black women is not my bag. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just, to me, I don't, well, maybe that's why I don't find pleasure in a lot of celebrities, because like I said, I like the natural thing. It ain't too many celebrities that's really natural. They all fake and inflated and glued on, patched on, sewed up, you know, all this shit, selling these false ideals to people. But then they talk about, oh, it's the men and their toxic masculinity is making women do all this, but oh, I want to look just like this sex doll celebrity. Ain't no man making you do that. That's you wanting to be like your idea of being like that woman doing that. Like, there ain't no man say you need to be like this. Like, it ain't got nothing to do with being telling you that shit. But all I'm saying, all this stuff is just to say that I don't, maybe if I was younger or something, but at this point in my life, man, I don't give a fuck enough about what's happening in rap music. I don't give a fuck. I ain't never been big on, like I say, the movies and shit. Y'all saw how many movies I was had to say I ain't seen and shit like that. I don't care about, you know, entertainment much like that, because even when it comes to black movies, what is it? What's the best shit? Fucking, or not even the best shit, but the best selling shit is what, a Madea fucking movie. It ain't never anything with, you know, some real plots, some intricacies. It's some Tyler Perry shit all the time. We love the same fucking drama, and that's why I say I just can't get into that shit. And that's why I enjoy y'all coming through here and we having these real conversations. Like, you know, Jay Dizzle going off about the politics, and that's a real conversation. These are the conversations, like I say, of course, everybody needs to have. And this is why I can't just do the black only thing. It's just it would be a fucking circle jerk. It'd be the same fucking stupid shit over and over and over again. You know, of course, if it's something outstanding that happens, I mean, outstanding could be good or bad. Like the Soulja Boy thing, and I'm like, okay, well, they hating on this man when you talking about, you know, businesses and things like that. There are issues I will discuss, but there's no way I can do it. And I'm just looking at it, and it's because at the same time, you know, you do this, you spend a lot of time doing this, you're like, okay, I want to see some growth. I want to figure out where I can grow. I say that's why I took, you know, them couple of days off studying stuff. It's kind of why I revamped the look and kind of put some of the concepts in it. So if somebody new comes in, they say, okay, well, this is about this, and this in the intro. And so I kind of want to bring that to the table, but then I'm just looking and I'm like, man, there's no way I can have some of these certain fucking conversations. You say the chat took a turn away speaking facts now. So like the fish, you know, we like to see people. Yeah, that's true. They say I want to be left fucking alone. I can do what I want without the extra. I'd be great. And man, ideally that would be dopeness. Like I say, I enjoy the conversation, and that's ultimately what it was, because it was a point where, especially with the sauce, like I just, you know, well, I hadn't talked about it too many times, you know, just going through some things, man, making some readjustments in my life, and I really wasn't fucking with too many folks, you know, Baker Man, Shaq Kush here and there, but they had they lives too. And so when the conversation kind of started with the sauce and how that started to grow into a thing, and like I said, I just started enjoying the back and forth, the conversation, just the you know, people putting their opinions, and it just kind of started growing into a thing. And, you know, you take that and you go with it. And then the den, from what it was, because, you know, not all the time everybody don't want to talk sports, man. There's other aspects of life, you know, and let's talk about some real shit, or let's have a more casual conversation. And I don't know if it was a situation where it was replacing, you know, certain associations that because like when I say I cut motherfuckers off, man, like I call that shit running with scissors, babe. Cutting motherfuckers off. You say we put these people on pedal the same way black folks look at white folks. You say kayaking. How like kayaking ain't the same as like whitewater rafting or something like that. I mean, I know it's a raft, but is it like a similar idea or something like that? Say Mexican redneck. You say Starbucks, but man, like I say, you know, when I reach these goals, when I get to certain things, was it a cat I saw? Interesting. VC. I don't even know how to say it. You're a very interesting person. Say that crazy. Say original show like all sports and den. That's readers, man. I appreciate that. And like I say, that's the point. And I guess too, you know. And I appreciate y'all for tuning, because like I say, it's just as much your input as it is, you know, me having this conversation. And I think that's what it is. Yeah, where is it? Ed man, I'm telling y'all gonna stop sleeping on Ed man. Ed man just be trolling with them stories. Ed man got all the hoes. Y'all look. when everybody ain't on the sauce, you come and say, maybe, you know, let's go bowling. You know, I got something for you. You know, get you some of this immigrant work. You know what I'm talking about. Every man got that juice for the hoes. Y'all be thinking every man be slacking, man. Man, it's a good point though. You say, what about this? Why we complain we're not nominated for Oscar? Yeah, and it's the same. It's the same people complaining about that, or complaining about, you know, why are we not? Why people complain? Why are we not this, and this? You're wanting to be accepted, but then you're talking about, you know, we need to be on our own and all this other shit. Like, fucking award. That's why I don't watch awards. I don't care about any of that shit. But then as soon as you do get nominated for one, it's the greatest thing that ever happened to you. If you were really that content, you should be happy with the BET awards or whatever else that, you know, is perceived as black awards, all that. But it's because you see something different and you want something different. It is, you say like, I gotta go back and see, because like I say, New Jersey Drive, because the name is familiar and I might have been thinking about something else. I at least got to go and pull up the trailer on that and check it out. But all right, D-Love, I miss you, but you know, I'll get you some rest there. I'm finna do the same here myself shortly. Yeah, Heidi been out the mix. You say you wear a cowboy hat, boots. Man, I want to say I've had one pair of boots in my lifetime, and I was probably young. My feet too big for that shit. You know what I'm saying? Man, oh man, I know it. We gonna talk about it tomorrow, because I wanted to talk about that dude. Like, and this is why I say I don't even know celebrities. Like, I didn't even know who the fuck it was until somebody was talking about it. What's that motherfucker? I honestly don't even know his name, but apparently he's a gay dude that plays a gay dude on Empire, and supposedly he says some people threw a rope around his neck and some other shit happened. We're going to talk about that. We're going to probably talk about that and probably include some Terry Crews conversation. I posted that conversation in the den. That shit was funny again when I listened to that shit. But we're going to talk about some things tomorrow. We'll see what's what. But again, I appreciate all y'all, man. I'm finna call it a wrap. Not to fuck you up. Man, yeah, and that's the thing, man. And that's why I say, man, when you how you mentioned that, and I was just looking at that fucking doc, and I need to finish watching it. But I had that same kind of vibe. I was just thinking about, man, you know, shit that niggas used to praise and love and, you know, be on some more other shit. You know, once you just kind of have some situations occur in your life and you take a step back and you just look at that shit. And like I said, I've been out that loop for a few years now. Really just being on some old hood shit in the hood, ain't even like fucking with it like that. You know, started out as a temporary thing to clear my mind, and then it was just, I found another level of peace, and I'm just like, man. Man, Jay Dizzle with the head on that big cock strong motherfucker. You let that man punky and all that, man. I gotta go back and listen to that shit, because I was listening to that shit right before the shit got started. But yeah, man, and that's the thing. And that's the thing, man. Like I say, it's just it's fucked up. And I think that, you know, I don't know. Like, I don't know how to, again, like kind of like Jay just said, you kind of got to worry about yourself. You know, we talk about trying to save people, get people out of a certain mind frame. But if you don't want to get out of that shit, if you sold yourself, this is all that it is, then that's what you want. It ain't that you know, it ain't that that's all it is. That's all you want, you know. So I think that's just kind of what it is. Yeah, you ain't lying. Colors changed the game. I remember that. No, I don't remember, like, I was young when it happened, but I remember, you know, a lot of people talking about the influence that it had on shit. So, well, we're going to talk about that, man. Appreciate y'all coming through, man. Vici, appreciate it. Big Al, appreciate it, man. But we got, like I say, we got a lot to talk about tomorrow. We're going to keep the conversation going. But I'm going to slide up out of here. I appreciate all y'all for falling through. And, yeah, you ain't got to go home. Yeah, I should probably already be at home. It's late and shit. Take your ass to bed. I'm going to sleep. I'm going to catch y'all tomorrow. Dropping plenty of sauce. And I'm going to finally do some news on this channel. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to drop some, if some news happen, because I was going to talk about that cop situation, but I just ran out of time. But if some news happen, I'm going to start dropping some news videos on here. But I appreciate y'all, man. I'm out. Good night.